Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm TJ.
Hi guys, Mandy.
Lauren.
We're going to be talking about some odds, ends, and in-betweens. So, this video is just all about stuff people don't really want to talk about or do want to talk about but are afraid to talk about it. If you understood any of that, congratulations, you passed. And if you didn't, we're still with you too. So we'll start with Mandy.
I'm not sure. Let me see here.
So wait, we're asking questions, but no one wants to answer.
Yeah, okay. What's a question you think people don't ask because they're embarrassed?
Well, it's not for
He's
me.
probably got a few.
It wouldn't matter to me, but I have a lot of guy friends or girlfriends that complain about their boyfriends getting lady products at the store.
Oh my goodness.
But people complain about that. They're like, I'm so embarrassed to buy tampons.
Really?
Yeah, Troy refuses to buy.
Are you
tampons.
serious?
Yeah.
You'd be surprised what guys will not buy. Even if you have a full cart and you kind of sneak it in there, they won't. They will refuse.
I honestly have never witnessed that.
I bet you Javier wouldn't.
No, he does. Yeah.
He probably so embarrassed though. He probably
He's
hides
not.
it.
I swear to you, he does not care.
Well, he could always say, no hablo inglés.
No, he really doesn't care. Honestly, I find that weird.
Fine, I say 90% of men won't do it.
Troy will not do it.
Really?
He thinks it's, I don't know. He just.
So
He said you're better. He's got to get you some tissues.
Oh, for God's sake.
Well, because they don't know the size, they don't know what they're supposed to get, because now they come in like mini
When in
tubes.
doubt, get regular.
Mm-hmm.
Regular pad, regular tampon, whatever.
But this is going to the guys that are embarrassed. Just
But
buy
I don't
it.
understand what's embarrassing. All right, it's kind of hard for you.
It don't bother me.
I know it doesn't bother you. That's what
why
I'm
I
saying.
just
I
said
was
at
going
the
to
beginning,
ask.
it doesn't
I
bother
wish
me.
I had like somebody who it does bother just to ask them what exactly
Or
it is.
Troy.
We're going to do a phone a friend. Troy.
Troy.
He's upstairs.
We'll get him in a moment.
Or Taylor. Taylor would be good too.
I think Taylor would though.
Yeah, I don't see what's the problem. Listen, it is a part of life. We don't like it, everyone, men, and we don't
So
like to
we
have
need-
to deal with that.
So we need
I don't.
Taylor or Troy.
But
I don't see a big deal.
oh my
Like,
God.
Not like we can help
If
him.
you needed a tampon, I'd go get you one.
Me too.
I mean, really.
But you're a girl. This is going question about a guy.
Okay, what about a guy thing? I don't know. What's a guy thing?
Condoms.
Oh! I mean, that's girl and guy. Everyone should be
Nowadays,
responsible and have it.
I think that's not as bad
No,
as
I don't
tampons and pads. 'Cause that
Or like a pregnancy
Troy
test.
Lee. Troy Lee.
there's Troy.
We have
We'll
a
ask.
question for you.
We'll ask them.
Yes.
Why are you so against buying tampons?
I think a female should get her own tampon.
What if she needs you to do it for her?
She should have.
What if I
That's
have-
a necessary.
Why? I
thing.
don't understand what the problem is. Is it embarrassing?
Yeah, it is.
What's embarrassing about it?
I don't. Why should I go and get a female's product? You should already have that at home. You know you need that. You know it happens every month.
Right, but what's the
That's
problem?
like being-
What's the
that's-
problem? I don't get it.
I just don't like doing it.
Yeah,
And
why?
then you'll be like, oh, what size and hey.
Regular. When in doubt, just get regular.
When in doubt, get regular. When in doubt, you just make sure you have some.
Lord
you get a
have
popsicle-
mercy. This is
you
why
get a-
Troy and I
Yeah,
are not
popsicle
together.
stick and
You got a
tissue.
popsicle stick and some toilet paper.
Lord
I-
have
I- I
mercy.
made one.
Lord have mercy.
I'll make you one.
This is why Troy and I would never make it. I'd have done.
Or if you have a heavy flower and a wide thing, use a mattress.
Lord help us. Coming from the gay man, I mean for real. What's something? Get your head out of the bush.
What a shrub.
All right, something
Oh,
else. I'm
God.
trying to think. I don't know.
That was a
What's
good one though.
what's something people don't, are embarrassed to talk about? I mean, I
Their
don't know.
sex lives. How many? Someone.
Oh,
these
number of
young
partners.
kids. These young kids told me what your body BC was, and I said that was before Christ. They're laughing at me, saying, "No, that's your body count." I said, what the hell does that mean? That's how many people you.
I
know.
would think like your body counts the amount of people you've killed. That is not good, people. I mean, I guess as long as you're being safe, who cares if your number's 100?
A, who really cares why you want to know how many
Alright.
people we've been with? B, you're never going to see these people. And C, mind your business. Worry about catching your numbers up to mine.
Oh,
I'm
Lord
gonna get
help
sick.
us.
I had a whopping 2 people. Me, myself, and I.
That's 3,
That's
but
3.
you know.
I'm tired. I have the coronavirus. I'm a little sick.
Don't say that.
Right.
That's another thing going on, everybody. I know we're all hearing about the coronavirus, and it's actually, you know, this big pandemic going around. Unfortunately, we have to deal with society these days with a lot of exaggerated news. So we don't really know what's going on. It's a lot like the flu, people. A lot of people die from the flu. You know, so, you know, it's kind of creating mass hysteria at this point. Just be cleanly. Wash your hands, cover your mouth. Not with your hands, cover your mouth with your elbow. I don't know, I'm really...
Carry Germ-X.
Can't believe how many people don't do that. They cough right into their hands. That's not helping. And you're touching stuff. That doesn't work, people.
Germ-X and
no.
Lysol, people.
Stay home from school if you're sick.
Well, right. If you're
Don't
sick,
send your
don't go
kids
to work.
school.
Don't send your kids to school. That's rude. So, that's how I feel about the coronavirus at this point.
Speaking of, this made me think about something totally off topic. Would you let your kids take off school to go shopping?
It depends.
Nanny used to do that for the kids.
It depends.
Let
I
them not go to school and they went shopping.
Here's the thing. I think once a year, why not? I mean, that's like just, you know, quality time you can spend with somebody. School is important. However, YOLO. I mean, one day out of school to go shopping, who cares? What do you think? I mean, my mother never took me out of school to go shopping, and I don't think she would. But, I mean, I don't see anything really wrong with that. As long as they're a good kid, good student. If somebody's struggling or causing trouble, I'm not taking them anywhere.
What do you think?
Don't bother me. I had perfect attendance.
He sure did.
He did.
He didn't have perfect grades, but that boy was at school. He did. That's hilarious.
From kindergarten to my senior year, I missed, that's right, people, 1 day of school.
That's actually very shocking.
That's a lot of days that I could have stayed in bed. Played hooky, but I've missed one. And I was really sick.
And that's kind of funny because I probably missed 365 days of school from kindergarten, and not because I was sick. There were a few times I was sick, but there were a lot that I wasn't. Did you ever skip school?
No.
Never.
Never skipped school.
Holy moly.
But you were sick. You missed school.
Oh, yeah.
No, I
was
meant
because I was
skipped.
sick.
Skipped.
Oh,
I was too involved with sports, and if you didn't go to school that day, you couldn't go to the game the next day. You couldn't participate.
I didn't have any friends.
She was a wrestler.
I mean, I did, but they were all
soccer
older
and-
than me and bad influences. That's what happens, people.
So are we asking embarrassing questions or awkward questions?
I'm trying to think. I really can't think of anything offhand. I personally, I'm very open, so I just tell them, answer the question. I mean, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, I can't answer that. I would just answer. Oh.
Depends on what it is or who it's
Yeah,
about.
I know. Well, I mean, I wouldn't disclose anything that was personal of somebody else. But I mean, like, just a random question. I mean, yeah, who cares? You would too.
What?
I'm saying, somebody asked you a question, a random, question, you would just answer it.
Yeah, and people don't like when I answer it because I'm very blunt and honest. And probably should put a little bit of
Frosting
on it, but I'm
You
right
should.
to the cake.
Yeah, but you can get a little mean. You can make yours like...
That's what he's saying.
Yeah, I said
Yeah, I
no
know,
frosting, all
but
cake.
but he's saying that he's all honest. But I think he can exaggerate bad. You know what I mean?
Not if I'm real
Like,
honest.
fabricate.
Like, exaggerate what he's saying.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
Just don't ask me for your
Yeah,
opinion if
don't
you don't
ask.
want
If
it.
you don't want to know the answer, do not ask TJ. And honestly, if you really don't want to know, don't ask me either. I'll be
can ask
honest.
me.
Yeah, Lauren will just say, "Oh no, you're
look-
good. You look great. That dress doesn't make you look fat."
I'll tell you.
I just don't think you should ever make a comment on somebody's.
But what
weight,
if they're
somebody's
asking?
Skin.
Of course not.
Just
I wouldn't just say something to somebody like that, but I mean, if someone asked you,
Meaning, like, if I said, "Hey, how's my skin? Like, how do I
yeah,
look
and I'm
today?"
like, oh,
Or you don't say, "Oh, you have acne," because I'm aware of that. I'm breaking out.
I would just say put some more foundation on.
See what I'm saying? You gotta. There's some things you just don't make comments on because they're
well,
very aware that they have acne on their face.
then don't
However,
ask though.
If they have something in their teeth, yeah.
Oh
okay,
yeah.
You have something in your
That's
teeth.
one. That's something at work that happens all the time. People, like, if they have something in their teeth or a booger, I always tell them. And I know that might be a little embarrassing for someone to hear, but wouldn't you rather know ahead of time instead of going all day with it hanging out of your face?
Tell me. Even if it was
I do
stranger.
too. Oh, I do too. At least at that point, I mean, it's a little embarrassing at the moment, but
Or if I had lipstick like on my teeth, they're like, "Hey, you have lipstick on your teeth." Oh, thank you.
I'm always telling people, like, oh, you got a little something.
Sarah always tells me you got a bat in the cave.
I mean,
Sure.
I think that's a nice thing to do for your friends or your whoever. Yeah, I do.
Do you have any embarrassing questions? Or awkward questions you get?
I went to the mall one time wearing a brand new pair of jeans that had the sticker down the front of them on the back of my leg that had the size thing on it. And a complete stranger walked up to me and left me a note, so that was very nice.
That was
Oh,
nice,
yeah, that is
especially
nice.
being a large person, a large lady. Like when you go around with the little XXL sticker, I'm like, that's freaking embarrassing. I mean, I guess people can guess by looking at me that that's what I'm wearing, but I don't want them to actually see it. I mean,
Yeah,
really.
I do it. I would do that too.
I think it all comes down to courtesy.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Just do what's right. Don't ask
Yeah.
any
You're free.
things.
Yeah. I mean, I walked, like, and I remember in high school, I'd walk behind girls, and they would have either, like, the tag sticking out of their
yeah.
shirt, or, like, a hair, like
Oh,
dangling.
yeah.
And I would just, they turn around, like, oh,
You just blow on me.
ew.
I'm laughing.
But, yeah, and they were like, oh, my God, thank you. Or, like, the tag, and we would just
Oh,
tuck it
yeah.
in, and they'd be
That's
like,
not embarrassing, but yeah,
No, but it
Oh,
draws attention. You just do it real
yeah.
nonchalant.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
I
Tuck
was-
people's tags
I was
in.
in a business meeting with a guy that had snot running out of his nose. He didn't realize it.
Oh,
And I did like one of these things like that.
Yeah.
That was really embarrassing.
Yeah.
well,
It
that's
was
why
nice
I
that you
tell
didn't, like,
people.
hey.
I have
Well-
an embarrassing story for you. It didn't happen to me, but this happened when I worked at a long time ago. It doesn't matter where I worked. But I was working, and this lady, it happens to some people. Like when you use the bathroom, and sometimes when you use a lot of toilet paper, you make yourself what we call a tail. So it's dangling behind you.
Oh.
This lady had a foot-long tail, and she was larger, and it was hanging over her jeans and then down, like almost like Rapunzel's hair. And I had to be like, I did a double take, thinking, oh, what the hell is that? And I had to like calmly like tell her because she was with a big group of her friends, and I didn't want to embarrass her. I was like, ma'am, can I pull you off to the side real quick? She's like, yeah. And I said, you have toilet paper hanging down. And she turned 10 shades of red.
Aww.
But I wanted to
Yeah,
tell
right.
her instead of telling the whole group, like, but she told her friends, and they all started taking pictures, and I was like, well, I guess I could have just said, hey, you've got a tail.
Yeah.
But that happens, or it's on your foot, and you
There's
see it
a-
on your foot dragging it. What is that?
Ooh.
Are these soft?
Yeah, yum.
Someone's
Ooh, our
someone
youngest sister made some molasses cookies, which I love. Obviously.
I literally.
They're good.
We're kind of mushy.
Oh, flat. I
We
like,
like
the
the
mushy.
mushy.
I don't like crusty cookies.
We like mushy brownies, mushy cookies.
Soft and chewy.
Yep.
No, I like Pillsbury dough, Pillsbury stick roll things.
Like the
And you just
sugar
cut them
cookies.
off, and you just eat
Yeah.
it raw without cooking on them.
Raw cookie is my favorite too. Oh.
No, it tastes better.
I
But if you want a good cookie, Brian asked me what my favorite cookie was, and there's two. My great grandmother used to make cookies like this, but they were called ginger creams with the best frosting ever. And my next favorite is always going to be my Mimi's cookies for Christmas that my mom makes, which are sugar with orange zest in it with sprinkles. But I like when she makes the fat ones because they're squishy. If she makes the thin ones, they're hard as bricks.
Mom likes the thin ones.
I like the fat
Soft
ones.
and chewy.
Mm.
What's your favorite cookie?
No bake.
No big one.
Oh.
Yum.
Well, what flavor?
They like
Chocolate.
chocolate. Yeah. Yum. What's yours?
These. I love molasses cookies.
So you
Soft.
like-
I don't like the hard, like ginger snaps new.
She liked Grandma Rabbit's burgers,
Oh,
ginger
yeah.
creams.
Mm-hmm.
You can't beat that. Hers were smooth. My mom tried it. They look like mountain ranges. Didn't they? Remember when she tried making it? We don't know how Grandma did. I think she just did it with a lot of love.
And
Grandparents do it with love.
And lard.
They have those little tricks that don't get passed down.
Right. And they're
Well,
not
I even
written down.
watched her do it, and they still can't do it. I think it's love. I have a lot of butter.
Yeah, oh yeah. Lot of butter.
So another awkward question, or one that puts people into like a weird spot that I've been getting lately. Some people I haven't seen in a while, and they don't know that my grandmother has passed. So when they bring it up, I get a little emotional. And then they see like it's a bad topic, so then it like backs them away. But I'm like, I want to answer your question, but that's a hard topic. That's like gray area. Like when someone asks you how was your grandparents? Well, grandparent. Well, I do have grandparents, but on both sides, my dad and my mom. But Papa's still alive, but Nanny passed away almost 7 years ago. So when people ask about her, it's hard because she's not here, and they're asking like as if she just talked to them last week. And I think that could be awkward because if they don't know, you have to explain like they moved on, and they go through their emotions, and you go right back to it. It's like, oh, dear Lord, I didn't wear my I wore the wrong mascara.
I can see that. I mean, I guess it just depends on the person and how long they've been passed away. Like, obviously, if you're just asking about someone and they passed away last week, that's a little unfortunate, but, I mean, that person obviously didn't know, so they're not doing
Well,
it
there's
on
some people
purpose.
that asked right before, like the day it happened, I remember it. It was my boss's parents and her sister, and I went to work that day, which I wasn't supposed to work, but I think that's part of my, shock or trauma, was to work and not stay at home and deal with what happened. And when they asked, I just broke completely down and collapsed on the floor. I guess it just depends on the person.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, when it first happens, you're going to be in shock. You're going to be a wreck. Even 7 years later, I'm still a wreck. But it just puts you in that weird predicament. Like, how do you explain, like... Because they ask, well, what happened? I really don't want to talk about it.
Well, then just say that.
But you don't want to be rude.
No, just say, I'm still, still touchy subject. But thank you for asking.
Well, that is an awkward question I get, is how's your grandfather? It's like, he's fine. Go in and see him. Stop asking me.
They're just trying to be nice.
The year after my mom passed away, ironically, February 27th. And for Christmas that year, we received multiple Christmas cards made out to both of them.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, and they were older people
Right.
who weren't exactly aware that my mom had passed away.
Yeah.
It was weird.
It is weird.
Or you get the phone call, hi, I'd like to speak to Mrs. Cease. Sorry, she's passed.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Yeah, I think it's always, obviously that's something that's always going to be hard, I don't know. I don't know. Different people, grieve differently and, cope differently. For me, I like when people ask about Nanny because everyone loved her.
Yeah.
And obviously they ask because they love her too. And to me, I take it as a compliment. I think that's always important in any aspect of life, not only coping and other things, but is always trying to stay positive and look at the positive side of everything. That's what gets me through, a lot of things. There's a silver lining if you look for it.
Awkward, embarrassing, crazy questions.
Go ahead.
One thing that I don't even know if it's a big deal, is when they ask, like when I tell people that I have a baby, or they find out that when I first told the world, Facebook world, that I was pregnant, everybody, all these messages, was it a one night stand? Or are you with somebody?
I can't believe someone asked that.
Yeah. Oh my. Well, I mean, I just don't flaunt Troy on Facebook, but even people at work, I talk about my daughter, and they're like, so like, your baby dad, does he live around here, or do you even talk to him? And I'm like, They're like, how do you?
People have
And I'm
ticket
like,
lives.
Because I'm not married and because
Yeah,
I'm
but-
young. And so when I say my daughter and I'll say my boyfriend, they say, oh, is he the dad or is he? And I'm like, yeah, or he's the dad. We're just not married. That's what I say. But it is weird, and I have to answer that every day when I talk about Avery.
Yeah.
They're like,
I'd
"Oh,
give
is
it a
the
good
dad
spin to it.
involved?"
I'd give a good spin to it just to shut people up. He's in Attica for 16 counts of murder. Would you like me to put you on his list?
Actually, something funny. Speaking of that, we were at Kenny's yesterday, and someone I know had seen us, and they asked, "Oh my gosh, is that your daughter?" And I'm like, to Lauren, my sister, and I'm like, "No, that's my sister. I get it constantly. I'm the oldest of 6, and anytime and anywhere I take the kids." The girls, my younger siblings, and I have a daughter who's 11.
Where's Lily?
They assume that I am the mother. I am motherly.
Hello, Sarah.
But I don't think I look that old. I mean, maybe I'm biased. I mean, I don't know.
Since we're talking about this
We just
one
look alike.
and the mom thing, I'm taking you back a few years, well, a long time. My older sister here was getting food at Hershey Park with my stepdad. And my mom was probably like at the table, but she wasn't seen. And we were younger then, so there was 4 or 5.
I was probably like 15.
I don't think Mia was Mia a baby?
I don't know.
I don't know, it's been a long
No,
time.
she wasn't born if I was 15.
And the person that was at the counter asked Mandy, "Oh, you look good for having all those kids."
Yeah, and I'm like, I should because I didn't have any. I don't know. I guess I am tall. I am 5'11", and I've been 5'11" since I was probably 12, 13. So I think people just associate being tall with being older, which I don't understand because I always look at people's faces. But I guess that's just because I've been in the situation where I'm tall and I, get that all the time where they think I'm older. I don't understand where that comes from, but yeah, and I honestly, it doesn't offend me, when people are like, "Oh, your kids." My sisters now, when I go to the store and they're like, "Oh, your kids, or your mom," we just go with it. We don't say anything. Okay, thanks. Bye. Yep, we're good. I was trying to think. There was a question I had. I just can't remember what it was.
Trent, do you have questions?
No.
Do you have an embarrassing question that you hate being asked? Or
Yeah, what's something you hate being asked?
what's a question that you're embarrassed to ask or you hate being asked?
Are you pregnant?
Someone asked you that?
No.
Oh,
Oh,
Something
Lord
that
help
somebody,
us.
like, people, like, in the public or here ask you that you hate answering. Like, you just don't, like, it's awkward.
I think I know one for
who
her.
used the bathroom?
That's a good
That
one
is an
for-
embarrassing question, depending on
Yeah.
why they're asking it. Does it stink? Did someone make a mess? Use too much toilet paper? I mean, that could be embarrassing.
Yeah.
Especially at a guest house when they make a whole announcement. Who's the last one who used the
I can
bathroom?
tell you something embarrassing about myself. I'm diabetic. So when I was on this one medication at first, it was giving me terrible gas. I mean, like rancid. And I was at work, and I couldn't stop what I was doing. And I mean, rancid. And people were like gagging. And I was acting like, ew, ew, that smells like totally like it wasn't me. But, oh God, talk about embarrassing. Woo.
Like your customers?
Oh, everyone. I mean, no, the people I work with.
And they knew it was you?
No, they didn't because I acted like, oh my God, somebody stinks. Yeah, it was very bad. I mean, like, problematic.
Oh my God.
Hmm?
It's fun.
Oh God.
I thought you said you were fine.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Oh my God. Thank God for new medications, all I can say.
That's
Woo.
great.
The pregnancy one. My mom walked up to a lady and said, "Oh, when are you due?" She was like, "I'm not pregnant, I'm just fat."
Oh,
Yeah.
That's not cool.
There's
I
a
have
certain stage, like,
I'd say that's like
like the second
Between
try,
20 and 30 weeks.
where
It's
where
awkward.
you sometimes you think someone's
What is
pregnant,
that?
but you are afraid. It's a Lego. You are afraid to ask because you're like, maybe they just gained a little weight, or maybe they're chunky, or maybe that's just their
Or
body.
maybe they just had a baby, or maybe they're
Right.
carrying a baby.
That actually happened to me.
Yeah.
Someone I used to work with,
Uh-huh.
I knew she was pregnant from Facebook. But I hadn't seen her, and it wasn't someone I talked to all the time, and they came into my place of business, and I could only see their top half.
Yeah.
And I just asked, oh, when's the baby due? And I felt so bad because she's like, oh, I had the baby, 2 months ago. And they're like, yeah, I'm still, obviously I think they took offense to it because they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm still fat, Like, I am so sorry. I'm like, I honestly cannot see the rest of you. And I just know that you were expecting a baby. I just didn't know it was born yet.
Yeah.
So, that's my bad. I mean, I didn't mean to make her feel like that. It wasn't because she looked big. I didn't know what she looked like. I just thought she was still pregnant. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. No, that was an accident.
That was like one time at work a few years ago, or when I was pregnant with Avery. I didn't look super pregnant yet, but I was pregnant, and I had a huge 12 top. And this one lady, she goes, "You are just the cutest pregnant girl I've ever seen." But the whole table was like, because I don't know,
They were
it was
probably
a
thinking,
weird.
right.
And Kevin walked by and he goes, "She has a thyroid problem."
Oh my
and
God.
the whole table cracked
That's
up
hilarious.
laughing. But the whole table was like,
Yeah,
Peggy,
like,
you don't
yeah,
say that.
right.
And she's like, I know. She's like, I've been in the NICU for the past 40 years. I know when people are pregnant. And I was pregnant, but I was wearing like the button-down shirt, and yeah, couldn't really tell.
That's hilarious.
And Kevin's like, she has a thyroid problem. Which,
Lord
no
knows,
offense,
I
people
think
who
I
do.
do.
I probably do too.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can write in if any stories you have or any topics you think that you're embarrassed to bring up and you'd like us to bring up and talk about it. We will. I mean, I don't have any problems. Do you?
That's a no from TJ.
I have a migraine, so I'm out. I'm under the weather. Not the coronavirus, but I feel like it is.
Oh my gosh.
Next week I'll be with a mask.
Great.
That's lovely.
Thanks for telling us.
Right.
I'm gonna get
20
a colorful
minutes in
one.
the video.
Yeah, thanks for sitting beside me and breathing.
Well, I already said that I had the coronavirus at the beginning. You're like, oh no, you don't.
You're joking.
You never know. If the spread's real, people. The spread's
Oh, you know
real.
what I hate? Hate is when people like tell me how pretty my mom is.
I know
But
that.
not like our mom is obviously very
She
pretty.
is
She's got beautiful skin. She's got dark hair, dark
But when
eyes,
they
dark
say
skin,
it to
big
you,
eyes,
and
they're like-
pretty little nose,
pretty little like she's beautiful, nice teeth, pretty smile. Anyway,
Well, right.
and we know she's pretty,
Well,
and none
right.
of us look like her.
No.
None. And we'll be out in public,
Yeah,
and they'll
they'll
be
be
like, "Oh my God, that's your mom? What?"
Well, first
She's
off, they don't
beautiful.
believe it because
Yeah.
they look at us and then they look at her. You talk about feeling bad about yourself. I mean, that's a bummer.
And we all know she's like, we're not
Oh no,
jealous of her. or
She
anything.
is.
She is.
But I don't like to be near
They'll make
her.
the backhanded compliments. Oh my God,
It
that's
makes you
your
feel
mom?
weird because it's like they look at you like, ugh.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
that's your
Here's
mom.
They
the
have
problem.
looked at her and
They-
they're like, I don't see
What
it.
we need to
Yeah,
start doing
I know.
is carrying a picture of our father. Like, this is
Oh,
where we got the genes
this is
from.
No
Why?
joke. We all share the same daddy.
And mom.
Hey,
Well, us
John.
three.
He is a Beverly Hillbilly, West Virginian. We love John, but John gave us some bad genes.
All the
I
bad
got the
genes.
bad
For real.
Mom must have been recessive.
Yeah. I'm like, really?
Bad skin.
I remember
Kidneys.
this one time, this one person like just could not believe it. They were in like shock, and I was starting to get pissed off. I'm like, excuse me, like it's not that bad, people. I mean, really.
That's a real, and it's awkward because you're like, oh my God,
Wait
here
a
we
minute.
go.
Yeah, I know. They just
I
can't
know
believe
she
it.
is.
They're like, surely that woman did not have you. Like, really?
She did.
She did.
Yeah,
Yes.
she can't deny us.
No.
Sorry, Tina.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sorry, I just thought about that now.
Yeah,
I
that's-
was
yeah.
thinking, where's my
That
mom?
is true. That's happened a lot.
Oh my gosh, happens all the time.
And I hate it. I hate it. I mean, not that I think I'm,
They
not that I
all
think that we're
siblings.
like,
There's Lily.
that I'm
Oh,
like
Mom
She
this
just took the
beautiful.
baby into
Mom's
the
always
room.
said she's got pretty kids, but nobody's a beauty queen here.
Which I hate that she says
Yeah,
that because that's rude.
Who is?
Mom said,
I've got pretty kids, but none of you are beauty queens.
I look like a gerbil.
Jesus. It's like, excuse me, Tina. That's not
Only one.
nice.
But she is.
Yeah, she is. And she's a good mama.
Well, maybe her grandchildren will look like her. So far, so good. She's got some good-looking grandchildren.
Lily looks more like her daughter than any of us do.
I mean, they're good-looking kids, is what I'm saying.
So far.
So far. Roman will be cute too.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for tuning in with us. I know I've been saying we're going to try and do this more consecutively. We just having trouble getting it together.
So far, it's every Wednesday. We're doing okay.
Yeah, I think we need to do it a little more.
Wednesday.
Where were you? Sick.
Work.
Were you here
Wasn't I
last
with you
Wednesday?
Wednesday?
Where were we last Wednesday?
Maybe.
Avery, back off.
Oh, that was the impromptu video. That like we made a long video and
Yes, that
we
was the one where we had the blooper.
bloopers.
Where I'm yakking and singing and didn't realize the camera was on.
Where
She
was
really-
I?
I
Where
don't
were
know
you?
where
Didn't
you were.
come.